It's a shame you'll die here, Reed. This city has far worse men than you.
A lot of people want to leave Oakmont, kid. Few ever succeed.
I want none of this to be real. To wake up in my bed in Boston, eat real food, drink good coffee, and forget it all.
Let me be frank. You ain't welcome. You slip up, don't cross a T, or dot an I, and I'll treat you like every other criminal in here, newcomer.
Please help me die. I can't. I just can't.
No mercy, boys. He's been asking for this.
There is nothing more vile than futility. Watching this happen again and again and doing nothing. We are the agents of change, Mr. Wood.
Please hurry, Reed. We can still save this city. You can't end the suffering. The cycle will go on. You can't change who you are.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
We're doomed to rot in this Borg.
There is a cycle. This has all happened before. She wants to be free, but she must not be, or else it all ends.
Destiny waits for no man, Charles. Decide now whether this ends in salvation or blood.
accept my fate. Unlike the cowards who came before me. My hidden daughter, I am coming. I choose annihilation. The end of all cycles. Let everything die. I accept my fate. Unlike the cowards who came before me. My hidden daughter, I am coming. I have made my choice. I willingly sacrifice myself like every seed before me. What is one life worth against all of humankind? Let the cycle restart. I have made my choice. Let the cycle restart. Enough is enough. I'm leaving this damned city and its madness behind. I will not choose. I'll break the cycle and free all of us trapped in Oakmont. I will not choose. I'll break the cycle. Enough is enough. I'm leaving this damned city and its madness behind.
Alrighty, everybody. That was The Sinking City, and that was a very interesting game. I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Originally in 2018, when this game was announced, I was curious. I was very interested in what they were going to do, and then when it came out, at first I was like, I don't think I'm going to play it. Doesn't look like it's up to snuff. But I listened to a few reviews and watched a little bit of gameplay, and I went, you know what? I really enjoyed the Sherlock Holmes series. I'm going to give it a shot. And boy, am I happy I did. Now, the game does have its problems, and we'll talk about those. Let's talk about the good. First of all, the story was really, really awesome. I thought it was well written and worked out really well, and in about 90% of the dialogue, it was all flowing very well. The city itself is ugly beautiful. How they made the city look and feel is fantastic. The barnacles, the traveling by boat in certain sections from the flood, this, that, and the other, all worked really well for itself. The scavenging aspect, the currency of bullets, I'm all a fan of that, and it worked really stinking well. Character models looked pretty good for the most part. There's a few in there that were a little more rough than others, but for the most part, the character models I thought were really great looking, even if their mouth movements maybe didn't always look right. You have to go into this game understanding the Sherlock Holmes series and understand these are not AAA games. They're very solid games, they're just not AAA, and that's where it shows a few times, like in the combat. The combat is uninspiring. I love the different weapons. They were great to use under different circumstances, but for the most part, the combat is very lackluster. Most enemies, yeah, that's just run. I thought the Mind Eye stuff was really, really cool. Going into and piecing the steps together, I thought was awesome. Even though it was a little simplistic, it's good. Putting the pieces together on your Mind Eye board of all the different clues that you've been picking up is great as well. The melee combat's meh. And I'm just kind of rattling off things as I go here because it's still fresh in my mind. We didn't do a lot of side quests, but I can definitely see the appeal to doing the side quests. First of all, you're going to get a lot of more ammo and experience and bullets, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. And I had no problem with it. I enjoyed the few side quests we did. But I really ran into very few situations, unless I really went willy-nilly with bullets, that I needed them. Voice acting in this game is really stinking good. I love Charles Reed. His monotone attitude towards everything is so fitting, and it works out so well in here. Some really great turns and twists in the story, along with a few good jumps from monsters coming out of the ground. I did jump a few times, and honestly, I really thought the construction and how the monsters looked and reacted were really solid too. The whole different cults going on and everything from ancient Mayan times to the KKK, all that worked. I felt like it worked really, really stinking well. And for the most part, it seems like all your decisions in the game really didn't have a true 100% effect on everything, but it changed little things along the way. And that's good. Now, I'm curious on what the other endings are, just because I thought maybe I'm going to stop the cycle and do it. Nope, that's definitely not the right way. I'm going to assume that all the others are just not good either. Obviously, we know that the stop the cycle and let everything else. We kind of know what those other two endings are probably going to be. One is us sacrificing ourselves, and the other one is letting the world just burn, basically. Let's talk about the rough spots. First of all, obviously, we see a lot of frame rate drops. There's some screen tearing in some sections. I don't know if that came across or not. Boy, those rough sections. The AI, when they're wandering around the city, is atrocious when it does that, because they just walk and they disappear sometimes, they reappear sometimes, they fall through the ground. That all does not look good, and it takes you out of the experience. However, if you go into this game understanding what you're playing, basically a modern day Cthulhu game that we haven't really gotten, but with the production quality of a Sherlock Holmes game, you should be all right. I picked this game up for $50. It was going for $50 on Amazon at the time of this recording. And I tell you what, it's worth it. I'm very happy I picked it up and played it. I've been playing this and Judgment. This took 100%, this took me by surprise, and how much I loved it. I just binged it out because of how great it is. I was curious on where we were going. I always looked forward to the next case. There were a few times that I got lost and confused on where to go, but it's one of those things you have to stop and read. And the game does not hold your hand at all. And I'm playing on normal. I can't imagine harder difficulties, which I do enjoy as well. There are sliders for difficulties on puzzles. I thought that's great because I love the thought that I had to look at my map and go, okay, I got to go to this street on this corner between these roads, go here and look. I loved it the first time, and I loved it the last time I did it. Every time in between is fantastic. It makes you play the game differently. It's a breath of fresh air. And I'm so happy that they did it this way. Again, I thought everything else was well executed. A good story, good characters. I loved the story. Good characters, good story, mediocre combat, a few frame rate drops here and there, and, some muddy stuff in between. But for an investigative game, bravo. But it's definitely worth playing. I would recommend picking it up. We have yet to really have a solid Cthulhu Eldritch game I don't know if we've ever had one. And this is my first one. And it's freaking fantastic. I'm definitely going to recommend this to people as long as you understand what you're getting into. All right, I'm going to stop it there. Again, yeah, thumbs up for me. So I hope to see everybody in another video on another series. So thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give the video a like. It does help us out quite a bit. Also, check out the channel because we have tons of videos going on over there. And until next time, you guys, stay frosty.